Today we will examine 5 undeniable signs that you are still on the path of ignorance and self-sabotage.
Welcome to Napoleon Hill's Daily Millionaire Mindset, where we teach you the timeless principles that turn ambition into achievement. Subscribe today and start creating the life you deserve.
We can go through life blaming circumstances, people, and the world for our lack of success. We can point fingers at external forces, but the truth is, if you want to change your life, you must first look inward. The greatest secret to success lies in personal development, in the power of self-reflection, and in the courage to confront our flaws. We all want to be successful, but success comes to those who understand themselves first and who face their weaknesses head on. There are signs, unmistakable and clear, that reveal whether we are on the right track to greatness or if we are allowing ourselves to remain stagnant, even foolish in our pursuits. These are not just random traits, but patterns of behavior that, if left unchecked, will prevent you from achieving anything of substance in life. However, recognizing these traits is the first step to becoming a man of wisdom, strength, and success. Now, let's dive into these signs. Signs that every man who truly desires success must avoid at all costs. The first sign that you are a stupid man is that you do not take full responsibility for your own life. You see, far too many people go through life pointing fingers. When something goes wrong, they blame their parents, their teachers, their friends, their colleagues, or even the economy. But let me tell you something, my friends. Success starts with accepting responsibility. A man who refuses to take responsibility is one who relinquishes his power. When you refuse to acknowledge your role in creating the circumstances of your life, you also give away your ability to change those circumstances. Responsibility is not about accepting blame, it's about taking control. Imagine you're a captain of a ship navigating through turbulent seas. The ship may hit rough waters, but it's your responsibility to steer it safely. If the ship sinks, would you blame the storm, or would you look at the choices you made, the decisions you took, and the lessons you failed to learn? When you refuse to take responsibility for your life, you remain a victim of your circumstances. You are at the mercy of the world, and that is not the position of a successful man. To become successful, you must recognize that you are the architect of your own fate. Your success or failure is not in the hands of anyone else, but rather in your hands alone. And when you take responsibility, you also take control of your future. Ask yourself, have I been blaming others for my failures? Have I been unwilling to acknowledge that my current situation is a result of my own choices? If so, it's time to take charge. You are the captain of your ship, and you must steer it toward your destiny. A man without a definite purpose in life is like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly. This is the second sign that you are not on the path of success. Without a clear purpose, you have no direction, no map, and no destination. Success is not accidental, it is deliberate. Those who achieve greatness do not wander through life hoping things will work out. They know exactly what they want and they pursue it with all their heart. This is the power of having a definite purpose. Now, let's be clear. Having a purpose does not mean simply having an idea of what you want. It means having a clear, burning desire for something specific. Something that drives you out of bed in the morning and keeps you going when life gets tough. Without purpose, your actions become scattered and unfocused. You find yourself reacting to life instead of taking action toward your dreams. And when this happens, you become a slave to circumstance. If you are unclear about what you want in life, how can you expect to achieve it? The universe cannot help those who don't know where they are going. Set your sights on something, make it your goal, and let every action you take align with that purpose. Ask yourself, what is my clear, definite purpose? Do I have a vision for my future? If the answer is no, it's time to create one. Without purpose, success will always elude you. Fear is the greatest enemy of progress. It's the third sign that you are not living the life you were meant to live. When fear controls your actions, you become paralyzed. You avoid taking risks, you avoid making big decisions, and most importantly, you avoid the very opportunities that could propel you to greatness. Think about it. Every successful person has faced fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is that the successful people act in spite of fear. They recognize fear for what it is, a natural emotion, and they refuse to let it dictate their actions. The fear of failure is especially dangerous because it keeps you from even starting. When you fear failure, you never take the leap, and without taking that leap, you cannot experience success. Ask yourself, am I allowing fear to control my decisions? Am I letting the fear of failure stop me from reaching for my dreams? If fear is holding you back, it's time to take control. Embrace fear, face it head on, and take bold action. Fear is a lie. It tells you that you can't do something, but only through doing that something will you prove that fear is powerless. The next sign you may be walking down the wrong path is that you allow negative influences to control your thinking. Surrounding yourself with negative people, negative environments, and negative thoughts will never lead you to success. If you spend your days listening to the pessimists, the complainers, and the naysayers, you are slowly poisoning your mind. The human mind is like a garden. What you plant in it grows. If you plant seeds of negativity, doubt, and fear, don't be surprised when your life reflects those same qualities. Success cannot flourish in a soil filled with negativity. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with positive, empowering individuals who believe in growth, success, and progress, you begin to adopt those same qualities. Positive influences fuel your mind with ideas and possibilities, while negative influences trap you in a cycle of limitation. Ask yourself, what kind of people do I spend my time with? Are they lifting me up or pulling me down? If the people around you are not inspiring you to grow and reach for greater heights, it may be time to distance yourself from them and seek out those who will challenge you to think bigger and dream bolder. The final sign that you are not on the road to success is that you lack persistence and give up too easily. Persistence is the secret to overcoming every obstacle, every setback, and every failure. Without it, success will always be just out of reach. Success is not a straight line. It's filled with twists, turns, and bumps along the way, and every time you encounter a challenge, you will be tempted to quit. But those who achieve greatness are the ones who keep going. They fall down, yes, but they rise again, stronger and wiser than before. Imagine a man who starts a business. He faces setbacks. His ideas are rejected. His funding dries up. But instead of quitting, he persists. He refines his approach, learns from his mistakes, and tries again. And eventually, after years of perseverance, he achieves the success he once thought was impossible. Ask yourself, have I been giving up too easily when things get tough? Am I committed to seeing my goals through no matter the challenges? If you find yourself giving up before you reach the finish line, it's time to build your persistence. Success doesn't come to those who quit, it comes to those who keep going. Success is not a matter of luck. It's a matter of choices. The choices you make today will determine the life you lead tomorrow. Every decision, every thought, and every action has the potential to move you closer to your dreams or take you further from them. Change is never easy, but it is always possible. By recognizing these signs, confronting them head on, and taking deliberate action, you can transform yourself from a man of ignorance into a man of wisdom, strength, and success. Now it's time for you to ask yourself the most important question of all. Am I ready to change? Am I ready to take responsibility for my life, pursue my purpose, conquer my fears, eliminate negative influences, and persist no matter the obstacles? If you're ready, then the journey toward greatness begins right now. Take action, make the decision to be better, stronger, and more determined than ever before. The power is in your hands. Use it wisely. Success is something that we all desire, but the key to achieving it begins within ourselves. One of the most critical and transformative steps toward greatness is taking full responsibility for your life. It may sound simple, but it's a concept that many people fail to fully grasp or implement. In a world where it's easy to point fingers and blame circumstances, it takes strength and maturity to look inward and acknowledge that you hold the reins to your future. When you stop blaming others for your challenges, you unlock the power to change your circumstances. Too often, people find themselves stuck in life because they are constantly blaming external factors for their lack of progress. They blame their upbringing, their education, their financial situation, or the people around them. While external factors may shape your life, they do not define your success or failure. The moment you stop blaming others and take responsibility for your own life is the moment you begin to take control of your destiny. Responsibility means understanding that your choices, your actions, and your mindset directly influence the outcomes you experience. It's easy to blame a lack of opportunities or the actions of others for where you are in life, but the truth is, you always have a choice. You can choose how you respond to challenges, what mindset you adopt, and the actions you take moving forward. Life may not always give you what you want, but you always have the power to decide how you approach the situation and what you do about it. The foundation of personal power and growth lies in this very concept of responsibility. When you own your life, you gain power over it. Without responsibility, you are like a ship without a captain, drifting wherever the waves take you. But when you take responsibility, you steer your ship in the direction you choose. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstance, but as a powerful individual capable of shaping your. Taking responsibility means acknowledging that your current situation is a result of the choices you've made up until now. This might be a hard truth to accept, but it is a necessary one. It doesn't mean that everything that has happened to you is your fault, but it does mean that you have the power to decide what happens next when you take responsibility. You stop waiting for someone or something to change for you and start making the changes yourself. This sense of ownership not only empowers you, but also opens the door to self-growth. When you stop relying on others to change your circumstances, you begin to actively seek solutions. You start to understand that you can learn, adapt, and evolve in order to overcome obstacles. You no longer feel helpless. You feel motivated, driven, and in control of your own future. When you take responsibility for your life, you also embrace the possibility of success. Success is not about waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap or blaming the world for holding you back. It's about creating your own path, making conscious decisions, and taking deliberate actions to bring about the change you seek. Taking responsibility is not just a mindset, it's a way of living and acting with purpose and intention. Ultimately, the path to success is not paved by luck or chance, but by taking full responsibility for every aspect of your life. It's about recognizing that the power to create the life you desire has always been within you. It's time to take that power back, to stop making excuses, and to start making progress toward the future you deserve. By doing so, you lay the groundwork for true success and personal fulfillment. A life without purpose is like a ship lost at sea, with no compass to guide it toward its destination. It drifts aimlessly, carried by the whims of the wind, reacting to whatever happens around it, but never truly moving in any meaningful direction. The absence of a clear, definite purpose leaves you vulnerable to the distractions and obstacles that life inevitably throws your way. You wake up each day unsure of what you're working toward, and as a result, you squander your potential, letting time slip by without making progress. To achieve success, you must have a clear and specific goal that you can pursue with unwavering determination. Purpose is not simply something you hope for or wish to attain, it is something you define with intention. A well-established purpose provides clarity in your life, offering a roadmap that helps you navigate through both calm and turbulent waters. It directs your energy, focus, and resources toward achieving something concrete, and with every action you take, you align it with that greater vision. When you have a clear purpose, you create a sense of direction. Your life becomes more than just a series of random events or fleeting moments. Every decision you make becomes deliberate and aligned with the larger goal you've set for yourself. The daily grind no longer feels like an endless routine. Instead, each task, no matter how small, becomes a step toward fulfilling your purpose. Without purpose, you are at the mercy of life's circumstances. You become reactive rather than proactive, responding to whatever comes your way without any particular aim. You might drift from job to job, relationship to relationship, or goal to goal, never really achieving anything of lasting value. The days, weeks, and years can pass by, and you may find yourself looking back with regret, wondering what you could have accomplished if you had only known where you were going. Purpose provides focus. It eliminates distractions and helps you cut through the noise of modern life. With so many options and opportunities available to us, it's easy to get sidetracked or to spread yourself too thin. But when you have a definite purpose, you become selective about where you invest your time and energy. You begin to filter out the irrelevant, focusing only on those things that bring you closer to your ultimate goal. More than just a mental construct. Purpose fuels motivation. There will be times when you face challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. You might feel discouraged or tempted to quit, but a strong, clear purpose is what will keep you going. It is the fire that burns within you, pushing you to take one more step, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. It gives you the resilience to continue when others would have given up. A definite purpose also serves as a powerful tool for decision making. When you are faced with a choice, whether it's about your career, relationships, or finances, your purpose helps you evaluate the decision through the lens of your long-term goals. Does this choice align with your purpose? Does it bring you closer to the life you want to build? If the answer is no, then the decision becomes much easier. Setting a clear, definite purpose also involves taking full ownership of your dreams and aspirations. It is about deciding who you want to become, what you want to contribute to the world, and how you want to live your life. It's not something that you wait for or hope to stumble upon. It is something you create. As you work toward your goal, you will encounter challenges, distractions, and moments of doubt. However, when your purpose is clear, it becomes a guiding light that cuts through the uncertainty. Even when the road gets tough, you are fueled by a powerful sense of direction and a deep understanding of why you are doing what you are doing. Success doesn't come to those who wander aimlessly or wait for life to hand them opportunities. It comes to those who are focused, determined, and unwavering in their pursuit of a clear goal. Without purpose, you risk living a life filled with confusion and regret, wondering what could have been. But with a clear purpose, you not only give yourself direction, but you also create the opportunity to achieve everything you've ever dreamed of. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions we experience as human beings. It is deeply ingrained in our biology, serving as a survival mechanism that has protected us for centuries. But while fear can be useful in life-threatening situations, it can also become a barrier to our growth, success, and fulfillment. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown can paralyze us, preventing us from taking the actions necessary to achieve our dream. The key to success lies not in eliminating fear, but in learning how to overcome it and take action in spite of it. Fear has a way of whispering in your ear, telling you that you aren't good enough, that you'll fail, or that people will laugh at you. It creates a narrative in your mind that convinces you to stay comfortable and avoid taking risks. The problem is that staying in your comfort zone will never lead to growth or success. If you want to achieve anything of significance, you must be willing to confront fear head on and move forward despite it. Think about the successful individuals you admire. They are not immune to fear. They experience it just as you do. The difference is that they don't let fear control them. They recognize fear for what it is, an emotion, not a fact. Just because you feel afraid doesn't mean you are incapable of succeeding. Fear is simply a signal that you are about to step outside your comfort zone, and it's a sign that you are growing. When you allow fear to dictate your actions, you give up control of your own life. You begin to shrink back, making decisions based on what you think might happen rather than what could happen if you take that leap. Fear of failure in particular can be crippling. The thought of failing can make you avoid trying altogether, which means you never even give yourself the chance to succeed. But consider this: failure is not the end. It is a part of the process. Every successful person has failed at some point. It's not the failure that defines you, it's how you respond to it. If you choose to let fear control you, you close the door to countless opportunities. Opportunities for learning, growth, and success. By avoiding fear, you avoid the very challenges that would push you toward greater achievements. When you take action despite your fear, you open yourself to new experiences that help you develop the skills and resilience needed for success. Fear of judgment is another powerful force that can hold you back. We are all conditioned to care about what others think of us, and the fear of judgment can be paralyzing. We fear rejection, criticism, or ridicule, which makes us hesitate to take bold actions or pursue our true desires. But here's the truth. The opinions of others do not define your worth or your potential. People who achieve greatness are often the ones who are willing to stand out, to be different, and to follow their own path regardless of the judgments of others. When you take action in spite of the fear of judgment, you empower yourself to live authentically and pursue your goals with confidence. Overcoming fear requires a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing fear as something to avoid, start seeing it as an indication that you are on the right path. Fear signals that you are pushing yourself, stretching beyond your limitations, and embarking on something new. It's a sign that you are growing. The most successful people in the world are not those who never experienced fear, but those who took action despite it. They understand that fear is a temporary feeling, but regret is permanent. Taking action in the face of fear is a habit that must be cultivated. It's easy to succumb to fear in the beginning, but the more you act despite it, the less power fear will have over you. Each time you step forward in spite of your fear, you build confidence and resilience. You prove to yourself that you are capable of handling the challenges that come your way. The key to overcoming fear and taking action is understanding that fear does not control you. It is simply a part of the process. You can feel afraid, acknowledge the fear, and then move forward anyway. When you face your fears head on, you take back your power. You no longer allow fear to make decisions for you. Instead, you make the choice to act, to take that first step to move forward toward your goals, no matter how daunting they may seem. Growth and opportunity lie just beyond your fears. The moment you decide to act despite feeling afraid, you open yourself up to new possibilities. Fear will always be a part of the journey, but it no longer needs to hold you back. In fact, you can use fear as a fuel to propel yourself toward success. The more you push through your fears, the stronger you become and the closer you get to the life you've always dreamed of. So embrace fear, take action, and watch how it leads you to new heights of personal and professional success. Another important aspect of persistence is the ability to stay patient. Success often takes time, and the path to achievement can be long and challenging. During the journey, it's easy to get discouraged, especially if you're not seeing immediate results. However, persistence requires the ability to stay patient, trust the process, and keep putting in the work, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The small, consistent efforts you make every day add up over time and lead to meaningful progress. Remember, success is not always an overnight achievement. It's the result of years of hard work, dedication, and continuous effort. Ultimately, the most successful people are those who refuse to quit, no matter how difficult the journey becomes. They embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, learn from setbacks, and remain committed to their goals. Success is not a straight path, but rather a series of ups and downs. The key is not to avoid obstacles, but to persist through them, refining your approach, learning from your mistakes, and adapting as you move forward. When you embrace persistence, you unlock the ability to turn setbacks into comebacks, to transform failure into wisdom, and to make progress even in the face of adversity. Success is not reserved for those who avoid failure. It's for those who keep going in spite of it. So when challenges arise, and they will, remember that persistence is the key to overcoming them. Keep moving forward, stay focused on your goal, and trust that your efforts will lead you to the success you deserve. Your future is not something that happens to you. It is something that is created by the choices you make today. Every decision, every action, and every thought you have shapes the life you will live. The reality is, the life you desire, the success you seek, and the person you want to become are all directly influenced by the choices you make. Change begins with a decision, a conscious choice to take charge of your life, face your fears, and embrace the responsibility that comes with creating your own path. Making empowering choices starts with understanding that you have the power to influence your future. No one else can do it for you. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming external circumstances or other people for where you are in life, but true empowerment comes from taking full responsibility for your decisions and actions. You are the architect of your own destiny. If you don't like the direction your life is heading, you have the power to change it. Every choice you make can either move you closer to your goals or take you further away from them. The key is to make choices that empower you rather than ones that hold you back. One of the most empowering choices you can make is to embrace change. Change is inevitable, and it's the driving force behind growth and progress. Yet many people resist change because it feels uncomfortable or uncertain. They hold on to the familiar, even if it's not serving them well, because the unknown can be intimidating. But growth happens in the discomfort of change. If you want to build a better future, you must be willing to step out of your comfort zone, try new things, and take risks. Change is not something to fear, it's something to embrace as an opportunity for transformation. When you make the decision to welcome change, you open yourself up to new experiences, new opportunities, and new ways of thinking. Taking responsibility for your life is another essential part of making empowering choices. Many people spend their lives waiting for things to change, hoping that someone or something will make things better for them. But the truth is, the only person who can change your life is you. When you take full responsibility for where you are and where you're going, you reclaim your power. You stop being a passive observer in your own life and start actively creating the future you want. This means owning both your successes and your failures and understanding that your choices are what shape your reality. No one else can make the decisions for you, and no one else can take the actions needed to achieve your dreams. It's up to you to step up and take charge. Another key to making empowering choices is facing your fears. Fear is something that everyone experiences, and it can be one of the biggest obstacles to progress. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown, they all have the potential to paralyze you. But the truth is, fear is often a sign that you are on the right track. It means that you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and trying something new. The most successful people are not those who have never been afraid. They are the ones who have learned to act in spite of their fear. Fear doesn't have to control you. When you face your fears head on, you take away their power. Each time you act despite fear, you grow stronger, more confident, and more capable of handling whatever comes your way. Persistence is another crucial element of making empowering choices. The road to success is not always smooth. It's filled with obstacles, setbacks, and challenges. But those who succeed are the ones who persist even when things get tough. Making the choice to keep going, even when you feel like giving up, is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. Every time you push through adversity, you become more resilient and more capable of overcoming future challenges. Success doesn't come to those who quit. It comes to those who keep going, learning from their mistakes and refining their approach. Persistence is what separates the dreamers from the doers, and it's a key ingredient in achieving any meaningful goal. Ultimately, the decision to act is what propels you toward the life you desire. Many people have great dreams and aspirations, but they never take the necessary steps to turn those dreams into reality. It's easy to get stuck in a cycle of planning, thinking, and waiting for the right time. But the truth is, the right time is always now. If you want to change your life, you have to take action. Action is what transforms intentions into results. It's what turns your vision into reality. Even small actions, when taken consistently, lead to significant progress. You don't have to have all the answers or be perfect from the start. What matters is that you begin. Making empowering choices means deciding to take control of your life and your future. It means embracing change, taking responsibility, facing your fears, building persistence, and most importantly, taking action. You have the power to become the person capable of achieving the success you desire, but that transformation starts with the choices you make today. The path to success is not always easy, but it is always available to those who are willing to take the necessary steps. So ask yourself, what choices am I making today that will shape my future? Am I allowing fear or doubt to hold me back, or am I embracing change and stepping forward with confidence? Am I taking responsibility for my life, or am I waiting for someone else to make things happen for me? Remember, the future you desire is determined by the decisions you make today. Choose wisely and make empowering choices that will lead you toward the success you are capable of achieving. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. They influence your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your success. You probably heard the phrase, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This isn't just a catchy saying, it's a truth that many successful individuals have embraced. The people you choose to associate with can either lift you up or drag you down. It is essential to be mindful of the company you keep, as negative influences can poison your thoughts, cloud your judgment, and hinder your ability to progress toward your goals. When you surround yourself with people who are constantly complaining, doubting, or focusing on the negatives, it becomes difficult to maintain a positive outlook on your own life. Negative energy is contagious, and over time it begins to seep into your mindset, shaping your perception of the world around you. If you are constantly exposed to pessimism and defeatist attitudes, you are more likely to adopt those same beliefs, making it harder to push through challenges and remain focused on your goals. The truth is, negative influences can stop you from taking action. When you hear people around you speak about how things won't work, how it's too risky, or how it's been tried and failed, you may start to doubt your own dreams. Their limiting beliefs can rub off on you, causing you to second guess your abilities and your potential instead of encouraging you to take bold steps. These negative influences will make you more cautious, fearful, and less likely to act. Over time, this constant exposure to negativity can create a barrier between you and your dreams. But the reverse is also true. Surrounding yourself with positive, growth-oriented individuals can accelerate your progress. People who empower and inspire you, provide the support, motivation, and perspective you need to push forward. They believe in possibilities, in overcoming challenges, and in the importance of growth. These people help shape your mindset in a way that fosters confidence, resilience, and optimism. When you are around people who see the world as full of opportunities, you start to believe in those opportunities too. Their positivity becomes contagious. You begin to see challenges as stepping stones instead of obstacles, and you learn to embrace failure as part of the growth process. These individuals push you to strive for more, to think bigger, and to expand your limits. They hold you accountable and encourage you to take the necessary steps toward your goal. Consider for a moment the difference between spending time with someone who constantly undermines your confidence versus someone who believes in your potential. The person who brings negativity into your life will likely focus on your flaws or the reasons why you can't succeed, while the positive influence will encourage you to develop your strengths and push past your weaknesses. The latter motivates you to keep moving forward even when the journey gets tough. Positive influences don't just lift you up emotionally, they also help you develop the mindset and skills you need to succeed. Being around individuals who prioritize personal development, growth, and learning helps you stay focused on your own growth. You will learn from their experiences, gain valuable insights, and see different ways of approaching challenges. This network of positive people can become a powerful source of guidance and inspiration, helping you navigate difficult times and reminding you of your capabilities when you forget them yourself. In contrast, negative environments do the opposite. They breed complacency and fear. You might find yourself stuck in a cycle of procrastination, constantly telling yourself that it's too late, too difficult, or too risky to pursue your goals. If you are constantly surrounded by people who view life through a lens of scarcity and limitation, you begin to adopt those same beliefs. As a result, you may lose the drive to take the necessary steps toward your dream. You start to accept the status quo, thinking that success is beyond your reach. Eliminating negative influences is one of the most powerful actions you can take in your journey toward success. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting people out of your life completely, but it does mean being intentional about the time and energy you invest in certain relationships. If someone in your life consistently brings negativity, discourages your dreams, or refuses to support your growth, it may be time to set boundaries or distance yourself from them. It's not about being mean or cutting ties out of spite. It's about protecting your mindset and your energy. You are responsible for your own growth, and you must surround yourself with people who support that growth. Instead, make a conscious effort to seek out individuals who encourage, challenge, and inspire you. Find people who share similar goals, people who are driven by ambition, passion, and a desire for improvement. Engage with people who have already achieved what you want to achieve, as their experiences and wisdom can provide valuable insights. And most importantly, surround yourself with people who believe in your potential, even when you don't always see it yourself. When you make the decision to eliminate negative influences and replace them with positive, empowering ones, you will begin to notice a shift in your mindset. Your thoughts will become more focused on possibilities, your actions more decisive, and your goals more attainable. Positive people will help you realize that the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. They will remind you that your success is within reach and that the path to greatness is open to anyone who is willing to take it. In the end, you are the sum of the people you allow into your life. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with individuals who lift you up, support your growth, and believe in the greatness within you. Positive, growth-oriented influences will shape your mindset and propel you toward success. Remove the toxic, negative forces that hold you back and make room for the people and environments that inspire you to be the best version of yourself. Success is often romanticized as a straight path, one where we set a goal, take a few steps, and reach it without much struggle. However, the reality is far different. Success is rarely achieved without encountering obstacles, setbacks, and failures along the way. The road to success is winding, filled with twists and turns that can test your resolve, patience, and commitment. It's easy to feel discouraged when faced with these challenges, but those who ultimately succeed are the ones who persist, who refuse to give up even when the path becomes difficult and uncertain. Every great achievement, whether it's a breakthrough in science, a sports championship, or building a thriving business, has been met with failure. In fact, failure is often a necessary part of the process. It's through failure that we learn, grow, and develop the skills needed to succeed. However, what separates those who achieve their goals from those who don't is their willingness to keep going despite the setback. Failure is not the end. It's an opportunity to refine your approach, learn valuable lessons, and grow stronger. When you face a challenge, it's natural to feel frustrated or discouraged. You might question your abilities or wonder if the goal is even worth pursuing. But those who succeed do not allow those feelings to define them. Instead of giving in to self-doubt or the temptation to quit, they dig deeper, finding the motivation to push through the hardship. They understand that persistence is the key that unlocks the door to success. Every challenge presents an opportunity to improve, refine your skills, and adapt your strategy. The journey to success requires an unshakable belief in your ability to overcome adversity. No one has ever achieved greatness without facing difficulties along the way. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, failed thousands of times before his invention was perfected. Albert Einstein was considered slow to learn as a child and faced rejection throughout his career, yet he persisted and became one of the most celebrated minds in history. These individuals didn't let failure define them. They saw it as a stepping stone to success. The persistence is not about ignoring failure or pretending that challenges don't exist. It's about recognizing that failure is an inevitable part of the process and using it as fuel to keep going. When you persist, you don't simply move forward blindly. You learn from each obstacle, adjust your strategy, and grow in the process. The act of pushing forward in the face of adversity sharpens your resilience, strengthens your character, and prepares you for even greater challenges in the future. One of the keys to persistence is a growth mindset, the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort and practice. People with a growth mindset see failure not as a reflection of their limitations, but as an opportunity to improve. They believe that each setback is simply a part of the journey, and each failure provides valuable feedback on what needs to change or improve. This mindset enables you to keep moving forward even when things don't go according to plan, and it fosters a sense of empowerment as you realize that you can grow and improve through effort and persistence. Persistence also involves maintaining a clear sense of purpose. When you know exactly why you're pursuing a goal, it becomes much easier to endure the hardships that come with the journey. A strong sense of purpose acts as a driving force, reminding you that the struggle is worth it in the end. When obstacles arise, you can tap into that purpose and use it to fuel your determination. Purpose gives you clarity and focus, helping you stay on track even when you encounter roadblocks. It reminds you that success is not just about the destination, but also about the growth and transformation you undergo along the way.
If this inspired you, subscribe and follow for more, and don't miss the other videos we've lined up for you. Keep learning, keep growing. Your next breakthrough could be one click away.